and I project managed the development of the Lake District's design code. We worked collaboratively with LUC, our appointed consultants, to develop and adopt the Lake District Design Code. Just for some context, the Lake District National Park is located in the northwest of England and has a resident population of approximately 40,000 people. The scale of change and nature of development that we get here in the Lake District is very small and incremental. We aim to deliver 80 new dwellings a year, but receive approximately 2,000 planning related applications, ranging from agricultural development to householder applications, conservation and listed building applications, all the way through to large scale tourism proposals. So it was important that our design code provided advice to lots of different types of development to achieve high standards of design. We're quite lucky that we've got a relatively up-to-date local plan that was adopted in May 2021. And to support the key themes in our design code, the most important policy hook we have is Policy 06, Design and Development, that aims for design excellence in all development. The beginning of the coding process involved considerable consultation with our development management team to identify some of the key issues that they face when assessing planning applications, and these key issues are shown on the screen. The most important and pertinent issues to the team was the importance of local materials in all types of developments to conserve and enhance local character. For example, the importance of local slate roofs over other types of slate, such as Spanish slate, that has a detrimental impact on towns and villages in the Lake District. Building on the key design issues our development management team faced, we devised 4 key themes, which are distinctiveness of place, local character and heritage, biodiversity net gain, climate change, beauty, design principles, materials, and well-designed homes. And these key themes run throughout the code. Following the scoping process and baseline review, draft codes began to be developed. And to ensure these codes worked in practice, we undertook several rounds of code testing with our development management team. We used a range of decided applications, including new build homes, extensions and conversions to test the code. And on screen is one of the applications that we tested. This application was for a new single-storey domestic extension to an existing dwelling. The relevant piece of code for this application is shown on the right in the infographic, and each of the illustrations in that piece of code corresponds to coding text. We found that, or felt that this application was most similar to example 7 in the code, and the coding text is just there on the screen as well. We found that although this application for a single-storey extension is quite large, and it doesn't visually compete or dominate with the existing house because it's set back, it respects the proportions of the house, and it's quite well disguised with kind of the existing vegetation surrounding the site. So we concluded that this development was satisfactory with the code and fits in well with the landscape. This application was slightly more challenging for us to assess. This application is for a new extension to the northern gable end of this home, including the addition of 4 new windows into the northern gable end, which is just there on the screen. To maximise solar gain, the design code doesn't encourage new openings on the northern end of homes, shown in the code illustration there on the screen. Additionally, it's not traditional for homes in the Lake District to have multiple windows on the gable end of buildings. So this application was approved, but had the code been adopted, the outcome of this application might have been different. The applicant might have gone away and looked at the code and revised the application as a result. The Lake District Design Code was adopted in September 2023, and our development management team have been applying it to applications ever since then. And I've got a quick selection of case studies to share with you that demonstrate the impact our code's having so far. This proposal shown on screen is for the demolition of an existing detached dwelling and a proposed replacement dwelling. The first proposal, which was consequently withdrawn, which is this one on the left here, it doesn't reflect the principles of the code. The proposal is out of proportion with the rest of the settlement and includes significant glazing. Our development management team advised the applicant to consult the design code and consider resubmitting the application. The revised application is shown on the right and is of a much more appropriate design and scale. It uses vernacular materials and respects the character and prominence of the surrounding settlement. And this application was approved. This application was an amendment to a condition of the roof covering from traditional local slate to Welsh slate on 11 new dwellings. The reason for the original condition was to ensure a satisfactory standard of appearance of the development through the use of traditional materials in accordance with our local plan policies. The design code has been particularly useful in this application, providing extra context to our local plan policies and including that extra kind of specific guidance about the use of local materials. Our design code states that roofing materials must be Westmoreland green slate, and consequently the amendment to the condition was refused. And this final application is for the demolition of ancillary accommodation to be replaced by a new 4-bedroomed annex. The design code provided our development management team with additional information to support the refusal of this application. The design code states that the applicant must demonstrate and clearly articulate how the proposed development enhances local character and distinctiveness, and that this must be informed by an understanding of the site context, including any historic character assessments that are required to support the application. The proposed plans shown on screen are not an appropriate design response, considering the impact that the scale, massing, and the large area of glazing of the new dwelling would have on the nearby listed building. Alongside the code, we've also developed a checklist to be used by both applicants and our development management team when assessing applications, and we anticipate this checklist being particularly useful for new starters in the development management team. These checklists are not a validation requirement and were not adopted alongside the design code, which provides the opportunity for us to easily amend them in the future and to make them more user-friendly. The examples shown in this presentation demonstrate the different ways our development management team are using the code. Our development management team have a very kind of usable, user-friendly code to direct applicants to when considering the design of developments, and it's particularly useful for the duty planner service. The design code also gives our development management team that extra bit of confidence to refuse applications on design grounds and further supports the application of our local plan policies. And that's it from me. Thanks, Stephen.